Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod, and this is Star Wars 7 by 7. So let's talk fan theories, and not specific fan theories like, oh, how Rey's parentage could be revised in Episode 9, or things of that nature. No, let's talk about fan theories as part of what we do in that fallow time that we're waiting for a new Star Wars movie to come out. Now, here's the thing. Generally speaking, I feel like fan speculation is a very fun thing. You know, it's very fun to wonder, like, oh, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What does this mean? What does that mean? And, you know, it could be considered an innocent pastime, but in a way, it's sort of become a little bit more than that, and it's become a little bit less innocent than that. As various things have happened with internet culture and whatnot, fan theories have become the stuff of news reporting. Websites that are dedicated to covering the entertainment industry are now taking fan theories and reporting them as news. Not necessarily as news as in like, hey, this is what's going to happen in the upcoming movie. No, they're actually elevating them to the level of, hey, this is actually something that's worth considering as part of the broader conversation. And I guess it's kind of neat in a way. It's a democratization of the fan base. It's saying that, hey, anybody can have a great idea, and a great idea is worth discussing. The issue is when it becomes sort of all consuming in a way, when the idea of fan speculation actually gets in the way of your enjoyment of a movie. And I don't think that that's happened as much as some critics might suggest. The idea that, you know, when you buy into a particular theory about the way things are going to go in a movie, and if that movie does not follow through on what your theories are, you know, to become frustrated or angry or otherwise disappointed with a movie because it did not live up to the story that you had built about it in your head. And I think that Star Wars faces this particular challenge, of course, because of the twist at the end of The Empire Strikes Back, which was not a twist that anyone saw coming, and we were not given any indication that we were supposed to be watching Star Wars or any part of The Empire Strikes Back to figure out that there was a twist coming. But it's basically trained us to look for that twist. There's a great article that I've referenced from time to time by Andrew Todd over at Birth Movies Death about how The Last Jedi is almost a refutation of the audience's desire for fan speculation, desire to lay theories on things that, you know, could be mysterious or might not be mysterious at all. I don't know if I necessarily agree with him in the sense that, you know, Rian Johnson set out to say, oh, well, fans think that Supreme Leader Snoke may be A, B, C, D, or E. Well, I'm going to mess with them all and just make it that he doesn't matter whatsoever. Like, I don't think that that even factors into his thinking on the situation. I think back to Dave Filoni and talking about Star Wars Rebels and about how when he was talking about Ahsoka Tano and whether she would ever come back, he thought that she was done at the end of season 2 of Star Wars Rebels, and that he can't pay attention to fan speculation, fan theory, fan desire, because it doesn't allow him to tell good stories. But you know, he had thoughts about how he could bring Ahsoka back, and I think it was more about the story that he wanted to tell and more about his love for the character than it was any particular fan desire or anything like that. I'm sure, you know, the fact that fans want to see the character, I'm sure that factors in, you know, somewhere in there, but he can't allow it to affect the story that he wants to tell. It has to be able to fit in and serve the story. And I think that's what happened with Rian Johnson in The Last Jedi. Whether it was the reveal about Snoke, or the lack of reveal, or the reveal about Rey's parentage, or, you know, the lack of import about where, you know, her parents came from, what they were, or anything like that. And as a result, I think not only did the media amplify a certain segment of the population's dissatisfaction with The Last Jedi, I also think, and this is something that hasn't really been discussed, I think the media has also amplified the whole fan speculation thing and turned it into something that it really isn't. I mean, I think that the majority of Star Wars fandom is happy to speculate on what might happen in a movie and what sort of backstory elements might exist that would inform where a movie is going to go. But ultimately, I think people are perfectly fine watching a movie or watching a TV series and seeing how things play out and being able to separate their own speculation from what actually happens in the movie and not allow their speculation to disappoint them or otherwise affect what their experience is of the actual storytelling. And that's my take on it, but I would love to hear what your take is on it. When you come in with a theory about what's going to happen with a movie, and in particular a Star Wars movie, about how you think certain characters are going to interact or what you think a secret about a character is, if you find out something different about it, how does that affect you? Like, do you really get disappointed or frustrated, or do you just roll with it and enjoy yourself and immerse yourself in the story that's being told to you? I'd love to hear what your thoughts are about it. So just drop me a comment wherever you happen to be catching this podcast. And that is going to do it for this episode, except for one other thing that I'll do on the audio version at sw7x7.com/iTunes/Spotify/Overcast/ wherever you like to listen to podcasts. But for now, it just remains for me to say thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you, wherever in the world you may be.